Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome to The Score. This is the podcast where we look at the arts and culture through our queer Black lenses. As always, I am your co host, Rocky Jones, and I'm here with my two brilliant, amazing, wonderful, gorgeous, and blackety black co hosts, Dr. Lee Bynum. Hello, Dr. Lee Bynum. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Oh,
Thank you
good.
for asking.
So am I. I feel so good.
Ooh.
Oh, and of course, the luminous Paige Reynolds. Hello, Paige. How are you?
Oh, I'm just swell.
Dandy. Skipping through the tulips.
All is copacetic, you know?
Well, so how was everyone's weekend?
I say this all the time on this show. I am so grateful for Executive Order 14168. You know, the one that said non-binary people don't exist?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
if I did exist, I would be having such a problem with this current moment.
Mm. I guess I have to exist for all three of us. Cool.
Yep, yep.
Well, you
Me and
talk
Lee
to
are
your
just,
imaginary friends.
yep. We are figments of your imagination. We are existing on the non-material plane. We are
I've never wanted to be trans or non-binary so much in my life. Oh
My
man.
God.
Where do we even begin?
Cause what the hell? Like what the hell?
What the heliante? The hell LeBron James.
I keep thinking like, what would my grandma say if I were sitting here like, watching CNN, seeing all this shit unfold with her?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I Maybe there's a part of her that saw this coming and was like, you know what? Gotta bounce. This is great. These people, this is I've seen enough. I saw Obama get elected. I saw a black president. It might be downhill from here. So time to go. Cause what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about my dad a lot lately, and he spent his whole life, his whole career in government, really doing his best to try and create change, to try and do something about this ridiculous extractive exploitative system that we are living under. And he got to live to see Obama get elected and passed away right before Kamala lost. And there's a part of me that is like, thank God that he did not have to see that. And he did not have to live through that because it's too much, y'all. It's
Yeah.
I,
too much.
I do wonder sometimes if we were part of like our grandparents' generation, the folks who had to deal with the, you know, drinking your own water fountain kind of moment, if we wouldn't have had a different, if not preparation, maybe just expectation
Hmm.
for what progress actually does not mean. And maybe some of this wouldn't be so shocking because there were like a series of moments like since Friday that I'll just like, because I'm really trying not to do news, but sometimes, you know, just the group chat, right? And then all of a sudden, next thing you're in your phone and somebody's like, wait, they're just telling trans people to give back their driver's license. Like, hold on. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
like, wait, what's going on in Mexico? And then all of a sudden it's like, who's at war with Iran? And then you're like, wait a minute, this was 72 hours,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like this was 72 hours. And each one of these is an individual crisis that's already sitting on a mountain of other crises that are only vaguely related and they're all seemingly connected to the same person and his little ball-headed ghoul who's sitting right beside him. Am I the only person who's like noticing a curious pattern in the moment? Thought so.
I just can't get over the fact that the okay, there's so much shit on this list to talk about. But since we brought up trans folks
Mhm.
first, I am so puzzled by the people who were talked into hating or fearing a whole population that is actually just 5% or less of our population that you may not know any of anyway. And even if you did know some trans people, you probably don't know it.
Mhm.
Um, and then lastly, tricked into it by people who were telling you that it's because they're trying to save the kids, and because they're trying to save kids from just walking into a CVS and getting a sex change. And yet they're the people who have demonstrated time and time again that they actually don't give a fuck about kids. But you let them convince you anyway, even though they're the same people who didn't do anything after Sandy Hook. Like, these are the same people who still won't protect kids after a whole elementary school gets shot up. Yet they're over here telling you that we're taking away basic rights and bodily autonomy because we care about the kids. Like, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna like, and I know part of part of the point is to make us go crazy. And so I'm trying to resist that, but just the way that people fall into it, like it's really I can't let it go. Like, what makes you think also that because they're doing those things to other people, that doesn't make it just easier for it to happen to you? Like, this is a cycle, like just a hamster wheel of American history at this point. Like, we've seen this time and time again. They're targeting this group in this way. Uh a lot of other people end up being harmed as well. When this group wins rights, a lot of people end up getting more rights as well. Like, it's not, it doesn't work to just pick and choose certain parts of the population that get to have healthcare and licenses and bodily autonomy and it doesn't work. It should be for all of us. If a government can choose who in is and isn't a human, that that is not safe, even if you think you're in the in group at this moment. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Same goes for these wars we starting abroad.
It's
It's abroad right now.
yes, right
Huh?
now, at the moment,
For, for,
yes.
for now. For now.
But, it's just like what we were talking about last time when we were talking about ice here in Minnesota and all of this sort of anti-woke, quote unquote, nonsense just being a boomerang and coming back and shooting you all in the face.
Yeah.
Like, when we're talking about the trans issues, like, we are talking about things that ultimately will make women and children, especially, less safe. And we are seeing that happening in real time. So,
Yeah.
all of these measures, these horrible measures that you are using to take away the rights of a certain segment of the population is immediately coming back and fucking you. Like, and it's not even like years down the road. Like, in a second, we're gonna have this Save Act, and nobody's gonna be able to vote. But it's cool that like 1% of the population in Kansas has lost their right to drive and to vote and to get a Costco card. Like
Having an ID is connected to
to
so
everything.
much.
To everything.
Everything. What if there is a trans person who is from Kansas who is already abroad right now? Thought that they were just on a little temporary trip to France or whatever, and now
St-
all that paperwork invalid.
Girl, stay in France. Just stay in France.
Apply for listen, uh,
Party in France. Yes.
you are a refugee at this point in
Yes, you are.
France and live your best life. And all of this because our government is being held hostage by pedophiles.
Speak on it.
Trans people are not the reason you don't have health care. You don't have health care because Israel has health care because they're keeping all the secrets about the pedophiles running this country.
But now that the secrets
Y'all.
are out, can we have our health care? No? Still
No.
no?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. No, no, no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. No.
Yeah.
No,
No,
honey.
no, I did note I really did also notice that part. Right. But the Dow is 50,000 the Dow.
And thank God for that. Well, Lee, you mentioned Mexico. You only hear how I almost got blued up? Okay, I'll tell you anyway.
Ooh. I was like, I want to hear it. And I'm just like, boy, oh boy.
So I mean, this is old news by now, but we all remember the cartel situation in Mexico last week. I was in Mexico, and I was actually in Puerto Vallarta when all of that shit went down, and it was crazy. U.S. imperialism and cartel violence, like right there on our doorsteps. Yeah, we were having a lovely time. Saw Jessica Wilde in the flesh. It was amazing. Um, it was weird for me. um, but no, we were just, needing to just get away from all of the unrest and insanity and craziness here in Minnesota. And just not before all the keyboard warriors come out and you're exploiting da 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 da. Da. We just wanted to sit on a beach and drink a margarita and tip everybody well and be kind and just chill the fuck out for a couple of days. Like, I'd like to think we earned it, we deserved it. Um, but yeah, so we woke up on Sunday morning and the night before we had like gone out um and had a few drinks at the bars in the neighborhood and like my husband Dennis came home and he was we got home and he was just like, oh, I just need some peace and quiet for a little bit. I'm like, oh well. Careful what you wish for. Actually, it was probably his fault, Lee. He's the one that manifested it. But we woke up on Sunday morning and he opened the drapes and there were two big columns of black smoke. So sort of our hotel faced the north, like faced like towards the airport. And so between our hotel and the airport, there were these two giant columns of black smoke. And he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "I didn't get any notifications on my phone. Maybe the Citizen app works in Mexico. I don't know." So I opened it up and it just said like car crashed into building. And it was like the notification was like south of us, but the plumes were north of us. And I was just like, "Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was just a car crash." Um, and hopped into the shower, came out of the shower. He was on his phone. He was like, "No, honey, no, no. No, it was not just a car crash. um, no, they had, done this operation in the dead of night in the mountains about 100 miles away from where we were. We were in the state of Jalisco. Um, and this joint operation between the Mexican federal, I don't know what they call the FBI in Mexico, um, the local police and the military went up into the mountains, um, got into a shootout with the cartel members and ended up killing the head, like the last major head of like the really big cartel. So there's El Mayo and El Chapo, and this dude who was murdered was El Mincho. Um, and so, in order to retaliate, the cartel members, basically began to run riot in cities all over Mexico, but were focused on Jalisco and Puerto Vallarta, and specifically targeting Puerto Vallarta because it is sort of known as being one of the safest places in Mexico, very tourist friendly, very safe for the people also that live there. And so they were just kind of like, look at the fuck shit that we can get into in your little safe little paradise. And so essentially, like, what they were doing was they weren't like targeting civilians. So it wasn't like this sort of like, I feel like the US media, like my mom and my sister and folks like Dennis's family were like texting us like, oh my God. Because like the US media was making it seem like, they were going down the street with AK-47s, mowing down every person that they saw. That's not the case. They were not targeting civilians. They were pulling people out of their cars and taxis and public buses and then just setting fire to them in the middle of the intersections in order to, cause chaos and block traffic and whatnot. And then meanwhile, like going to, so there's this chain of convenience stores called Oxo, and there's also Kiosco, and then there a certain, I think Pemex is the gas station. They're owned by like these billionaires that have ties to the cartel and to the government, and they were also like either driving cars into those buildings and then setting the cars and the buildings on fire, um, or just like setting them on fire or like breaking the glass or whatever. But like there's like think of it as like 7-Eleven. There's like one on every corner. So once it was all kind of the unrest was over, we were driving downtown and it was like literally every block there was a burned out building, like a burnt out convenience store. So it was crazy. So we were just like, what do we do? And we ended up going up onto the rooftop just to sort of see what was going on. And there were a bunch of people who were staying in the hotel who were up there. A lot of people who were just like dissociating and just like, I'm gonna get like a suntan while the fucking world is burning. Or just like in the pool with their fruity cocktails, just like looking worried in their bikinis. Like but like the rest of us were sort of around the perimeter of the rooftop, and like we had like a 360 view of like the whole city. There were fires everywhere. When I tell you everywhere, like it it felt like apocalypse now. Like everywhere you turned, something was on fire somewhere. And it was just like the whole sky was just like black with smoke, and we were pretty far north. Like we could see down to the south end of the bay where like the older part of the city is, like sort of what you think of like when you think of Puerto Vallarta, like sort of old Mexico, like the cobblestone streets and the oil lamps and that sort of thing, the traditional architecture, that sort of thing, like on fire. um and so we had maybe been up there for about 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden, like, boom, boom, boom. And like less than a block away from us, a car exploded. And then a couple of seconds later, another one exploded. And like the building like was shaking. And then the smoke was like right there. And, like, that was kind of the moment that I was just sort of like, because we didn't have, like, really any information at this point, like, it had just kind of happened. Um, and I was just sort of like, "Oh, oh, we're gonna die." Huh. Okay, well, that sucks. And the manager of the hotel ran out, was like, "Okay, rooftops closed, everybody go to your rooms for, shelter in place for the foreseeable future." And then we were just in our rooms for, like, the next, like, 24, 36 hours. Um, Once it sort of seemed like it kinda died down a bit, there weren't any new fires that had been set, like, we went out on the balcony, and there was, like, a military chopper, like, right there, like, flying past the hotel. Um, and it was just like, I when and then once it was kind of clear that, like, they weren't targeting civilians, like, then it was just kind of like, "Okay, well, we just need to stay here and just kind of ride it out." Um And, we ended up being safe and everything was fine. I mean, not everything was fine. Everything was not. Everything was garbage and scary. But the immediate danger had passed. And the next day we were able to go outside and get some fresh air, and you know, the amazing people who were in our hotel, like, because they couldn't leave, because, like, they had shut down all the roads, they had shut down all the public transportation, so they had to, like, stay at the hotel. So and they'd just been, like, up all night, so, and not being able to go and see their families and check on, all the stuff they had to, go and deal with. So, there was also an element of trying to support those folks. There was also an element of, like, just kind of shitty American and Canadian tourists, like, thinking all about themselves and just like, but what am I going to eat? There was this one French Canadian woman, I swear to God, she thought it was like the apocalypse and she was going to be the one who was going to start the cult. She was just, what are we going to eat? Where are we going to go? What are we? I have a friend who is in the old city, and she is telling me all of these horrible things and ripping people's throats out with their teeth. And it's just like, girl, like, I need you to, I need you to take it down, Celine, please, please take it down several notches. Um, but we ended up meeting some really nice people, because we were all in this crazy situation together, and it certainly was, has I'm still processing it all, but it certainly was just kind of a moment to be able to think about just sort of life in general and priorities and what I'm sort of investing my emotional energy into that maybe I don't need to do, and maybe some anger and some grudges that I can let go of, because yeah, you really never know when it could happen to you. But yeah, that was our vacation. And then, like, weirdly, once everything was opened up again, it was like nothing had happened. It was like, all right, like we went down to the beach and it was just sort of like, okay, y'all want a margarita? Uh, sure. Like, all these little hot boys walking down the beach, like, weed, cocaina. And it was like, girl, y'all already selling the it has not even been 24 hours. Like, okay, I guess we're back to normal. Um, but I mean, they needed to open everything up because and I guess get the tourists spending their dollars again. But yeah, it was wild. I was just trying to go look at boys in speedos, but but here we
A
go.
little more than you asked
Little
for.
more than we asked for. I was just saying, like, I was talking to my mom last night, and it was like, maybe it was not the vacation we wanted. Maybe it was the vacation that we needed because, to get this perspective, new perspective. I don't know. But yeah, no, it was crazy. It was having world events right there in your face, as if we haven't had enough here in Minnesota. But yeah, that's the story.
I was about to say another world event. Aren't you tired of those? I
I'm
don't.
I'm I would just like a nice, normal, quiet, precedented event. Like that would be really, really nice for me
Yeah.
and all of us.
Wow.
But yeah,
Glad you're here.
thank you. Thank
Glad
you.
you're with us.
I'm glad I'm here too.
Wow. Okay, when I think about it though, the what'd you say? French lady, French Canadian,
Mhm.
something. You know, I do wonder if at this point us US citizens have a bit of a higher tolerance for violence and chaos.
Maybe.
We just might.
Maybe because when they reopened the pool, we were sitting next to this couple who were like from Calgary, and they were also just kind of like ridiculous. And he was like then like unmasked himself as a Trump supporter, and like I don't like him, but I like his
Oh,
policies. And we were just like, thank you, goodbye, and went
right.
to go sit by a different part of the pool. And we were talking to this like American couple, and they were just like, yeah, our flight got canceled. Oh, because that was another thing. The airport was closed for several days, so nobody could get out. And they were like, our flight was canceled, and we just have to, stay here for another week. So here we are. And it was just like super, just kind of chill, just sort of like this is, I don't know, our American karma, I guess, or the chicken's coming home to roost.
Something like that.
Something like that. Something like that.
Something like that. I mean, honestly, that does make me think about how just all the fuckery is very unsustainable. Um, and so it kind of feels like we're at this point of are folks gonna think it's are folks gonna feel more swayed to push back or more swayed to uh the side of I'm overwhelmed. I'm going to try my best to maintain my illusion of regular life and not do anything. Like what is that? I don't know. There's a lot of things that are coming that feels to be coming to a head, coming to light, uh really blowing up in in our faces, literally and
Literally.
metaphorically. Yeah. So like how long can the facade be maintained? How long can the business as usual be maintained? Like how much is enough? Or how much is too much for the general population of Americans? I'm really asking myself that. Like where are we? Where are we going?
Because I mean, like I said, like I was amazed when we got out there the morning that it was all going down, and there's smoke coming from every direction, and there are people just eating food like it's a movie.
Yeah.
The people just dissociating and working on their tans. The people like, just drinking a pina colada in the pool. And I'm just like, y'all, like, Like, the whole city around you is on fire. We can smell the smoke. The air there is no sun because the sky is black with smoke. Are What are we doing? How are we this like, it's not happening on a screen. Like, it's happening right in front of you. How are we this desensitized? And I'll even admit there was a little part of me that was just sort of like, "Oh, are they taking the right is this not really, like, a big deal?" For, like, a split second, and then I was like, "No, there's an explosion that just happened over there. This is no, this is actually happening. This is not just, like, an action movie or whatever." And it reminded me the same sort of feeling that I had on the morning of 9/11, and, like, coming back from
Mm.
my 9 AM Shakespeare class. I had not encountered anyone on my way back to my dorm, and turning on the TV and, like, seeing, like, Katie Couric and Matt Lauer, like, freaking out, like, as the towers are falling, and thinking, like, "Why is there an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie on in the middle of the day on
Oh my
NBC?"
god.
Like, I don't understand. And then, like, as I'm listening and as it's sinking in, like, what's really happening, just sort of that, like, that feeling in your gut, your throat. But I guess there are people who are even fully desensitized to that, which I don't even know what to say about that. Like, how does that happen? Like, how can you turn on the TV and see that we bombed an elementary school full of little girls
Yeah.
and that not make you sick to your stomach?
Mm.
Like, not make you want to run out of your house and start screaming.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's all about the kids. It's all about protecting the kids.
Oh yeah, we're just bombing kids because we're trying to save the kids from the Islamic extremists, right? Yep.
Yeah, checks out.
Yep, yep, yep. Ah, I do find it interesting that there seems to be a I don't know how many people will actually do this. Like some serious talks from people with wanting to withhold their taxes.
Hmm.
Especially federal taxes, it seems like. As far as how we react, things people can do to show this is not business as usual. We're not going to go on as if it's business as usual. That is an interesting option. Um, there's like continued talks about strikes and their usefulness and how to make that happen. I mean, I see how in a place that's so focused on money, how shutting down the economy could absolutely be a powerful move. And at the same time, because we're in a place that's run by money, that means people striking don't have their basic needs met.
Yeah,
So how many people can really do that
that's how they
when
get
you
you.
gotta pay to just exist in the United States? Um, so yeah, I- I'm I'm wondering like what are the things that people are doing or thinking about doing that could change tides or at least withdraw support? I don't know, y'all. This is a lot. It's a lot. But I am kind of like, okay, well, yeah, what now?
I mean, that's a great question. And one that unfortunately at the moment, I think I'm too sort of in the middle of the the shit donut where it just seems like
Mhm.
it's shit on all sides. Um to really kind of come up with an immediate answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Lee, I think I already know the answer to this question, but like, is there any sort of historical precedent for this level of fuckery?
Oh yeah, all kinds.
But like
And
this
that's
level.
yeah, all yeah, all kinds. And I think that's part of what's uncomfortable about it, right? There is what's going on here. Um, what tends to go on in places where there are serious levels of I don't know, like administrative um collapse in the management of a country where then you sort of see like what the state is intended to keep from happening as institutions fall one by one. You know, I'm not the first person to point out that we are in a moment that looks uncomfortably like the end of, we'll just say the end of a moment, right? Um, and you know, if you are interested in that kind of history and wondering, huh, I wonder what did it look like for the Babylonians at the end of the empire or fill in the blank empire, right? Um, I mean, it kind of looks like this. It looks like so many things failing at the same time. And the only answer being, you know, some kind of major shift in the behavior of the general population, whether you want to call that revolution or whether you want to refer to it as something else. Um, it definitely feels like we've reached the end of some kind of life cycle because, to your collective point, part of why it's hard to envision what's supposed to happen is that there is no going back to anything that we've seen,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
the kind of faith that
Mhm.
people have lost in the government isn't going to easily be replaced. And I think that the lesson for Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and some of our other friends in DC is that what you see, the faith that people are losing in the current administration, it's not pouring into the opposition party that doesn't behave like an opposition party. It just feels like it's evaporating, right? Like this doesn't make me want to run out and do a whole lot of organizing for the Democratic Party. Like instead, I kind of feel like, boy, do I wish somebody who was good at making new kinds of governments would pop up and say, "Hey, everybody, how does this sound?"
Mhm.
Because this doesn't, you know, it feels like a, a, a dereliction of duty on the part of Congress, like in its entirety, because they don't seem to be
Mhm.
doing anything. And last
Mm-mm.
time I checked, you know, these checks and balances actually could do a lot, could do an extraordinary amount if they wanted them to. But this is an election, right? They are electing not to use their constitutionally given powers in this way, much in the same ways that, like, the ideological shift on the Supreme Court, now all of a sudden, when it looks like what they've wrought with their own decision making is a federal administration that's saying, "Oh, I'm not going to pay any attention to you," and now they're like, "Oh, yes, you are," and he's like, "Oh, no, I'm not. Like I'm really not." I have more tariffs, as a matter of fact. Like it's absolutely it's ridiculous, right? Like there has to be a there has to be something different on the other side of this because I just don't know what sort of activities comes on the other side of any of this, right? Except maybe everybody drinking Brondo because it's got what plants crave. Like I think this is a complete crash out of culture. Like the bottom has just fallen out of everything. You can't find good news if you wanted to. Like I took 20 minutes today trying to find some pure black joy. Um, and I couldn't even be happy for Michael B. Jordan, and we're married. Like there's something distinctly off.
Oh, pure black joy, I forgot that was a thing that we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
No, but you're right, just like the cultural shift, the overall attitude and energy that everyone has towards the government at this point, it's just looking a little ripe for revolution. It's looking a little ripe
Mhm.
for the ending of an empire. Because like once you figure okay, so some of us been known, like if you just look at US history, that like this country is run by like psychopathic white men who are pedophiles. Like that's just what it's been. That's how it was started. Like, you know. But now that people are realizing that it's still run by psychopathic
Yeah.
white men who are pedophiles, who are also wielding power and trying to tell us what to do and what is legal and what is moral and what is civilized. Like that's just not going to sit well
No,
with
No,
people
no.
no.
that these are the people trying to run this place. I don't think we come back from that.
Can I ask y'all if a thing happened just to that very point? Did we live through like, I don't know, like 12 years of somebody running on, I'm going to Washington to expose and
Listen.
prosecute
Drain the swamp.
the pedophiles and drain the swamp. And then they came to Washington and they're like, sorry, that's us. And I'm not going to do anything about it. And then everybody was like, oh, okay.
Well, we still love you.
Like, did that actually happen? Because I remember, like, literally when all the QAnon stuff was happening, and people were like, the government of every country is run by a cabal of billionaire pedophiles. And I'd be like, can you find something to do? Come to find out they were right, but have moved on from the point themselves when it's literally millions of pages of evidence, even the stuff they try to hide and redact. It was so much of it they couldn't hide and redact it. And then the people who were like, no, 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 this is a real thing are now like, wait, what are you talking about? I never said that for 12 years. I don't care if you have hundreds of hours of me on a podcast, but guess what? The president of France is married to a man. Like this is literally the actual conversations happening in the public sphere right now in this country.
I hate that the QAnon people were right. I hate that so much.
And instead of doing a victory lap, they are now covering up like the amount of mental gymnastics that it must take and then for it to be happening right in front of us and the only elected official who has made a point in the last month has been MTG, like literally. what kind of backwards where I'll be so glad when this fire horse moves on.
Ah,
Mm,
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 mm, mm.
mm. No, and it is really crazy to look back and see like JD Vance's old tweets,
Mhm,
and now
mhm,
here he is.
mhm, mhm.
What is the psychology of that? What is the psychology of the people who for 12 years were like the children are being trafficked, blah 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 blah. Everybody was like, no, 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 you're crazy. Now it's like, okay, here's like a billion pages that show that you're right. Well, we still support. What is that psychology? Like, I, I think it was a tweet by like Bree Newsom the other day that was just like, the one of the Achilles heel that was the Achilles heel of racism and white supremacy is that it requires just staggering amounts of ignorance,
Yeah.
but also
Mm.
hypocrisy.
Well, well,
Like I don't understand it. I don't get it. I
yeah.
mean, I guess it's just cultish, but
It is
And
cultish when
it
you
is.
taught
It's
to
absolutely.
worship whiteness and maleness
Yeah.
and abuse of power.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
They literally have a culture that like glorifies abuse. And thank God for us, we were not raised
Yeah.
under
Correct.
such brainwashing. So that's why we can't understand it.
Literally can't understand. Because I feel like one of the hallmarks of Black culture is its ability to remember things that
Mhm.
people said and
Yeah.
did and like really
Mhm.
hold on to and really
Yeah.
hold them to it kind of forever, ever, ever.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
when you have a situation like just what you were bringing up with JD Vance, even where he was saying something else a couple of years ago, like the number of you like internally held contradictions that exist in JD Vance, which is not who uses none of his real names, by the way, which also should be like this kind of level of like Manchurian candidate nonsense. Like people are so unwilling even to acknowledge the things that they were just saying a couple of minutes ago when they are being borne out to be accurate because it no longer serves their narrative. And for people to be like, I have lost my job, my wife got deported, now my kids can't eat. I'm still not going to say my vote for Trump was wrong because Kamala would have had us in these wars that I'm really angry with Trump for putting us into. It's like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And meanwhile, they're trying to distract us with literally anything else. So, one of the things that was
Anything.
happening on my social media for the last week, and it was actually what I wanted us to talk about this week, but now I actually feel like I don't even want to deal with it, was this argument that's happening between Black Americans and West Indians. And obviously, I am
Hmm.
feeling
Oh no.
really pulled in so many directions by the lack of insight that I am
Oh
experiencing
dear.
on
Oh
two
What is it
different
this
sides.
time?
what happened?
What
So
is it
there are
now?
two different things. One, what I am assuming is a Haitian American woman, just judging by her accent alone, was on a podcast, an African American podcast. I don't remember which one, but said something about dirty Black Americans. And it just sent the podcast into complete disarray, as you can imagine. But at the same time, the how which is obviously reprehensible, right? And like no redeeming it. But there's also a piece of it that the Haitians didn't say that. This one
Right.
woman said it, right? And I think we
Right.
have the
Right.
ability to disaggregate people, period. And then there was another one about some new comedy that I'm going to use. I've not seen it, right? So I'm assuming that it's highly satirical and it's by, a Jamaican American or Jamaican Canadian filmmaker where there's some island somewhere and like the Black Americans have to be all sacrificed in order for this Caribbean island to continue existing. I don't know anything about it. It sounds like a thing I really am not interested in seeing or hearing too much about. Um, but given that it's being produced by a comedian who seemingly hasn't said a ton about it since the scandal started, other than y'all don't get satire, makes me think maybe there's something satirical here. It doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean that
Mhm.
the message is valid and it, or what have you. But I also haven't seen it, and I understand the concept of satire. But what it is it's unearthing a whole lot of stuff that I heard growing up on from various quadrants of my family, right? And I am deeply unsettled because I feel like, A, why is this happening right now? Because it's just kind of giving distraction in a moment
Absolutely.
that's
No, no,
like,
yeah.
can we like come together and focus on like the existential crisis in front of us? And then we can also deal with this, but like infighting in this moment isn't helpful when I think in the main, most of us are very much in the same place about what this moment is and what solidarity means. And then a few people here and there seem like they're like latched on to something that I'm like, but what about the world literally being on fire?
Mhm.
Like this what may be an absolutely terrible movie might not be worth any of our time to this extent. What is clearly an unhinged comment on a podcast that I think we can, it's just so ridiculous. Like, I don't even know that it needs a conversation around the repudiation of it because, like, who's going along with that in the first place?
Mhm.
Right. Um, but I just, obviously, I've been really upset about like a lot of just the way immigrant communities in general and Black communities in general are being characterized by this government in a moment that is clearly about terrorizing us off the planet. And I think we kind of need to focus on that in the moment, right? Like I don't know, but the way this was all over my social media this weekend, like people are upset about it. Yeah, these are absolutely upsetting comments, but it's also like, so, but who is this random woman?
Mhm.
Who said like it like
Right.
do we need to be
What
giving
is
it this
that?
kind of right? And I mean I didn't recognize her or the podcast, so I don't know, maybe it's the most important thing in the world that people under their mid 40s are listening to, but probably not,
Somehow I
right?
don't think so.
Right?
No, but it goes back to what I was saying before about just like what are we investing our emotional energy into
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Because we can't invest it into everything. Because
right.
then we're not
Mhm.
investing it into anything.
Mhm.
If everything
Mhm.
is at the same level, then we're not going to do anything. We've really got to figure it out.
And the shit that is clearly crazy, why can't we just say this
Like it's
that's
good.
crazy, right? And then go focus on the thing that actually is, I will say it again, existential. Be-
Or if there's like a situation where like two things can be true at once, and then we can move along.
yeah,
This
no,
whole like this
absolutely.
like this whole situation at the BAFTAs, where we're like now
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah,
we're pitting the
yeah,
Black community against the disabled community.
yeah.
How about so sorry, Tourette's, terrible condition. You still said something like when with your tick that was racist and hurtful. Both of those things are true.
Yeah.
Nobody, we don't have to blame anyone. We don't have to like whatever. Let's like apologize and move on,
I mean, if
right?
we're blaming anybody, it's the producers for
Who
leaving
chose to
that
air it?
in,
Who chose to
right?
air it
And I
100%.
when
think
they absolutely did not have to do that?
absolutely. And when World War III is over, I think we should absolutely have a robust conversation about that. But the way that also like sat in the feed, and I guess if a good thing came out of it, it made me lean deep into a part of social media where Black people who are living with certain disabilities talk a lot about what what this moment is for them, right? And hearing a lot
Mhm.
from the Black Tourette's community that was asking for us to hold both of these things as being true and to approach this with a lot of nuance and not say some of these things that are again attacking people who are in our own community in some instances, right? And that I felt like that's a really important part of the conversation, and I hope the algorithm is allowing these particular messages
No,
to appear for more people, but it's not. You you
absolutely
you
not.
you absolutely no, it's not. But
No,
we're
they're
also the same country that just spiraled out of control for literally a month and a half over a Super Bowl halftime show. I was like, come on, y'all. You don't have there is nothing else that you could be upset about. Have you eaten today? Have your kids eaten? What about your neighbors? Did a masked man snatch your neighbor off the street today? Like there's nothing else to be worried about?
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Who else wants off the third rock from the sun?
Ooh, I hear the second is lovely this time of year. Maybe the fourth.
And on top of everything else, we still have to deal with daylight savings time this weekend. I hate that. I don't know why. First of all, how can like one part of one country choose to participate in this and other places in the country are like, no, we don't do it here?
I don't
This is
understand how that works.
ridiculous.
I
I don't
don't get
either.
it.
I
Yeah.
don't either. I am sick and tired of this nonsense. I really am. And I'm still mad at the beaver.
The beef oh, the groundhog?
Thank you.
I was like, "Beaver? Who's Beaver? What Beaver?"
Sorry. We only have pigeons and squirrels here. I don't know all these nuanced animals.
We have to hold space for nuance.
The rodent community is very upset with me right
The
now.
rodent community is gonna get
Mhm.
us. The beaver did see its shadow. How dare you?
Oh.
Oh, Lord. Well, we only have a few minutes left. So I don't know. Do we want to pivot to pure black joy? Are there anything perhaps lighten the mood a little bit? Anything that folks are watching that we did y'all see the Tyra special on Netflix?
I,
I
I haven't
haven't
but
watched
watched
it
it yet.
yet.
I'm going to suggest for
Can
a
we do a
future
whole
programming
can we do a
meeting that
whole episode?
I
Okay.
Yep.
think that is just the
Yeah.
oh Jesus, this is going to stress me out so bad.
Let's do
But
it.
that's okay.
The little snippets that I've seen and heard like on social media, I'm just like, oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh no. And then she says she's gonna come there's gonna be a new
Cycle 25.
cycle to like
Tyra is the real villain and has been the villain the whole time. And all this stuff
That's
that's
real.
happening with Trump, she's distracting us from Cycle 25 and the horrors that she's wreaking on these poor young women who are putting their trust in her. I
who is gonna audition for that? Because
this is
you know a photo shoot is gonna be her boiling these girls alive in a vat of hot ice cream, like Willy Wonka. Like you know.
Oh God. Yeah,
um
no, I feel like the only person who's gonna go on that show is somebody who wants to be on reality television,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
not
Mhm.
necessarily wants to be a model.
It's this has got to be a great path to
Yeah.
either Traders or a Real Housewives franchise somewhere, right? Because you need your foot in the door. They need to
Mhm.
see that you can create maximum
Mhm.
levels of chaos elsewhere, and then you're just in, and you can do whatever it is that you do. And this is how America works now.
Speaking of Traitors, Paige, I know you didn't watch, but I am so curious to know, Lee, your thoughts on the ending of the Traitors.
So I will say very few things encapsulate how Americans understand themselves and why we are in the ridiculous situation we're in right now with our current administration better than traitors and people's willingness to disbelieve things that are happening in front of their own faces. The ways that not only there's like, not only are we not listening to Black women, we are going to vote you off as soon as we possibly can.
I was gonna say, Candace, she sat there, she said, he is a traitor. Him.
Yes.
This
2 weeks
one
in a
right
row.
here,
2 weeks
two
in a
weeks in a
row.
row. And never mind that she was a traitor too, but
That's a
that's a
sidebar.
side.
That's a sidebar.
But she was like, this white man, this beautiful white man right here,
With
who you
snakes
all
tattooed
love
all
so
over his
much,
body, literal snakes tattooed all over him. You
him.
can't tell he's a snake, right?
Vote for him. I am giving you all the clues. I am trying to save all of you from yourselves because y'all are already going to get rid of me. That's fine. But let me give you some clues as to how to win the game because this man is the traitor. And they were like that lady from Top Chef, like it could not literally, she said, it could not be that sweet, sweet man.
It's so shocking to me because she's so good on Top Chef. Like I was like, where is your skill set, lady? Like it the way she just
It was,
abandoned logical thought. But I'll tell you when I
and
was
you're a lesbian. Why are you so in love with him?
I'll,
It's
I'll
like
tell you
that
when I was
episode of
done
The
with these
Simpsons where
people.
where the lady was like, "Well, no man who speaks German could be evil."
No,
But
it really was like that. They were refusing that, and he was always in the center of the mess, and people were just like, well, but when they
well, he's just
said
outspoken.
the way that they held Portia, a person, the most malapropism prone person who's ever been on television, to being precise with her words, but would let anything slide with Snakes and Colton. It was shocking. It was like Portia's been on TV saying things wrong, backwards, sideways.
265 days a year.
And the same people who know her were like, well, I don't know. She did kind of have a word, a situation. I was like, you know what? Y'all deserve what is about to happen. The person who is stupid in this situation is me because I sat there for 11 episodes and watched it. That was my problem. The other thing I'm still mad about is this Kenya Pleaser is pleasing nobody. She did not win
Mm-mm.
that lip
He didn't win
sync.
that lip
She
sync.
didn't win that lip sync. And I don't know, Rue, you know, you've been my good Judy for a minute now. I don't know what's going on with you.
That was I was because I we finally got home from Mexico. I was catching up on Saturday, like 2 days ago, and I almost texted you in just because I was in a state. As
Yeah.
soon as she
Yeah.
said
He was so
Kenya,
angry.
Kenya, Shantae, you stay. I'm sorry,
I
what?
was like, Kenya who? Kenya Moore? Like, who are we talking to? Because it was not the same Kenya who was just Kenya who don't ever know the words to her lip sync.
She didn't know the words. That outfit was
There were no parts of Shaka Khan in that runway. There were no parts of Shaka Khan in that
she
runway.
was wearing some thigh-high boots and a snakeskin dress from Wet Seal and an afro wig and said that was Shaka Khan. I said Shaka Khan's gonna come here and get you.
Shaka
'Cause,
Khan is gonna
like,
wear y'all out. I have never been so offended watching anything. I feel like Rue has had 3 bad calls in 3 weeks of girls who I was not ready to go home. While there, some of these other girls are giving you nothing. Discord
nothing.
Adams is probably a lovely person, but that walk, I mean, the way Brooke Shields fell out laughing at that girl's walk, like there is, what is happening?
I
I feel
don't
like
know.
I'm getting punked. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was crazy.
I don't know.
That was great. It made me feel like that I was crazy, that I was not
Yeah,
living in reality.
it
Because I
was
was like,
gaslighting.
it was just like, is it something with me? Is it my eyes that are deceiving me? Do I just not know what the definition of fabulousness, and do I not know who Shaka Khan is? Do I not know what a good lip sync is? Like, are you not supposed to know the words to the song? Is that are we like in a post lip sync world where up is
You're not
down, left is
understanding.
right? I
It was
not understand.
performance art.
Maybe it was just like some new avant-garde
Mhm.
shit where it's just like we do the opposite. It's opposite day. I
I really it made me wonder, like, like back in the day you watch American Idol, and sometimes like the way people would be getting voted off, you clearly were like, no, Clive Davis is on the other side of this, wanting to see somebody with the contract, and that's what's happening. And y'all could just say it. I would still watch.
Yeah.
I'd even have more respect for
mm,
you if you were like, no, we sent Jennifer Hudson home this week because we thought it would make good TV. Like I would be like, all
mhm.
right, I'm following it. Not we think these other people are out singing her. Like it, but that's kind of what was happening. And I was like, Rue, you and I have known each other for such a long time. Like I don't believe you thought she won that lip sync. I don't believe you. I think you have got to be setting up some kind of twist this season. So
Well, it looks like somebody comes back next week. So hopefully, maybe justice for Vita, or although she did lose that lip sync.
Vita did lose that lip sync, but I still don't think she was the worst one her week. Just like I don't think Athena was the worst one her week. And I mean, Mia was horrible
Mia
in the
was
Snatch
terrible.
game, but she won her lip sync. And it's like, y'all are, these aren't the rules. And you can't switch this up on me 18 seasons into this. Like, I'm not doing this with y'all. So much in the world to be upset
Yes,
about.
it's so true. Paige, is there a bit of culture that has
And
you in a
then
tizzy?
abandoned pure black joy that is none of this is joyful, but
None of this is joyful. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I do have a pure black joy.
Okay. It's
I
time for pure
yay!
black joy.
do.
Time for pure black joy. This is the segment where we talk about the black people, places, things that are making us happy this week. Paige, I turn the floor over to you.
Yes. So my Black History Month, um, which is really all year, um, was really set right by a certain kinds of Black performance art. I just want to give a shout out to Black burlesque dancers and strippers. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you for your talent. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your artistry.
Yes.
Um yeah, the world would not be uh as tolerable without you. Um yeah, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Like for real. Um but seriously, I saw some fantastic performances in the week of February.
All
And
right.
also in some very Black and very queer spaces. So it was also like, us celebrating each other and throwing money at each other and hooting, hollering. And it was just a grand time. And just to be reminded of Black joy and to like be in our bodies and presence in like a joyful way. And when you and your friends are really having fun, you really spending it too. And I love giving money to Black people as well. So all around great experience. But for real, like support black performers. Of
Yes.
all kinds, but particularly this message is about the burlesque dancers and strippers. You are appreciated. Um and one of the shows I went to was here in Minneapolis, and it was all Black burlesque.
Hmm.
And I love that there were all bodies, all genders, and like, the show was fabulous. It was so good. I wish I could remember some of the names right now. I followed them on Instagram though, so yeah, we'll be keeping up.
We should share those.
Yes, we should share those.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was so good. We were all like, "No notes." We were like, there's nothing to talk shit about after this show." Like, it was so good just across the board. Shout out to Shorty who danced to Sade,
Ooh.
the one at the end who danced to "Good Kisser" by Usher.
Oh, I
You
love that
fucked it
song.
up. You did your thing. We weren't ready. Um, yeah, it was just very, like, celebratory, and I also love that the performers that we saw were clearly happy to be performing for Black people, for other
Yeah.
Black people,
Mm.
especially other Black queer people. Like, there were some moments where we were like, "Oh, you put a little extra on that because we all here." Like, "Oh, okay, okay, we're getting a little extra love because you wanna dance for the Black folks during Black History Month. Okay."
Yes.
Um, yeah, it was a great time. It was a great
Yay.
time.
Yay.
That's my pure Black joy.
You know what? I actually have a short Pure Black Joy, and I just want to
Yeah.
shout out. So when before all the unpleasantness happened in Puerto Vallarta, we were at the beach and we were sort of looking around, and usually it's like very diverse, racially diverse. And we were just noticing that there weren't a lot of Black people there. And we both, my Dennis and I were just sort of remarking, like, oh, that's weird. But I went down to the water to cool off, and there was this lovely Black gentleman to my right, talking with some friends, and he just waved at me, and I waved back, and in my head I was just like, I'm gonna go over and say hello, which usually I don't do because I'm very shy, and I was wearing a tiny bathing suit, um, but
Yes,
I,
tiny baby Sue.
well, look. These cheeks, y'all are gonna see that these are you know how much money I spent on these cheeks, and they are
Yep.
powerful. They can belt squat 425 pounds. I'm just saying.
Period.
Period.
Exactly.
Period.
Show it off.
You're gonna see
You've been
these.
working hard.
You're gonna see these. But I was just like, I'm gonna go over and say hello, and we're just gonna see what happens. And now I have a new sister named Terry who lives in Columbus. So
Aw.
shout out to Terry from Columbus. So like we just giggled and laughed and had a key for the rest of the day, and we saw each other that
Aw.
night, and we were partying, and then we saw each other after the unpleasantness and reconnected. And so shout out to Terry, you are beautiful and amazing, and we love
Aw.
you.
Well,
Aw.
if we're shouting out people, I would love to shout out Jotisha Bridges. Um, I don't know if Tiana Taylor is going to win any of these Oscars or whatever, but she's won every single red carpet, and Miss
Hmm.
Bridges is her stylist, and
Oh.
she deserves a Peace Prize. Like
Mhm.
the way that she understands what looks good against Tiana's skin, what looks good on her
Mhm.
figure, like not a hair is out of not a baby hair is out of place. She looks absolutely extraordinary. Y'all better hope I don't become famous, um, because I already know who I'm hiring. She
Mm.
and Law Roach are going to have to fight to the death to see who can dress me, and I hope they both win.
Did you see the video of her daughter last night?
Yeah, it was
Like
very cute.
with her skirt, like it was so cute.
Yeah. I love seeing Black people doing well, and that it,
Mhm.
I just liked very, very excited about Sinners, like that it had a little moment. Ryan Coogler's the only person to direct two Best Ensemble winning
Yeah,
SAG
wow.
awards ever. So that's your post Black History Month
Wow.
um, little factoid. So
Okay. Congratulations to Ryan, and congratulations to
yeah.
the cast of Sinners. I hope this bodes well for the Academy Awards. We'll
I
see.
do too. Well, if not, we have another programming idea for a few weeks from
We
now.
sure do. We sure do. All right, kiddos. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the show. Support Black artists and burlesque dancers and also podcasters by subscribing wherever you're listening, hitting that subscribe button, especially if you're listening on YouTube. That'll really help us out. Leave us a review, 5 stars, tell your friends all about us. If you want to reach out, the score podcast 2.0 at gmail.com. And I think that's everything. Did I forget anything? Okay. Well, any words of wisdom before we go?
Stay alive.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game right now.
Pick where you're going to invest your emotions.
Yeah.
It'll make your life a little easier. There you go. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And by the way, this episode, this is our 5th anniversary.
Oh.
We should have like done
What?
something, but oops.
Yay!
But yeah. Yeah, I'll be sending you both a Venmo for the hosting fees. Just happy birthday to the score! Yay! And we love you. We love you, scorekeepers. Thanks for hanging out with us and going through with our classmates phase and all of that. And we still have some more of those in the tank, so we should.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.